Hey everybody, happy Monday, and I guess more importantly at this point, happy holidays.
Yeah.
It is less than a week till Christmas, and if that freaks you out as much as I do, then you're in for a treat because it's going to be here before you know it.
We're not ready.
We are not ready, and we are actually going to be headed north here in a couple days to enjoy holidays with the family, and they have made sure to tell us that it is going to be a whopping 11 degrees on Christmas morning. That doesn't even factor in wind chill.
Yeah, that's just like the temperature, not what it feels like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not ready. And we still have presents to buy. We've got a lot to do
We
in
have
like
a
2
lot to
days
do.
before we have to fly down.
But filming our DVC shows are more important, and we're happy to be here with you guys today. And we are joined today by the lovely Lauren Dela Cruz. For those of you that don't know Lauren actually is a contributor for DVC Fan. She's also now writing over at World of DVC for DVC Resale Market, DVC Rental Store, Monera Financial. And we have had the privilege to know Lauren for quite some time now in the DVC space. She's also a moderator for the DVC Fan Facebook group. But Lauren, thank you for finally joining us on the show. It's kind of like, to many people, you're just like this voice and this person that's out there, and but now people will actually get to know who you are. So
I exist. No.
yeah, it's
Thanks
so
for
wonderful.
having me.
Yeah, happy to have you here. You live up north. How's the weather?
It is chilly. It's in the 30s already here, so
Oh yeah,
definitely pack accordingly when you're visiting.
yeah. I don't even know what that feels like anymore, so I'm kind of scared. But no, happy to have everyone here today. And we're gonna actually talk to Lauren a little bit about an article that she wrote several months ago that discussed the top 5 one-bedroom villas at Walt Disney World. We thought that would be a fun topic. We get people that sort of always are asking for room requests, like what type of what building should I stay in, or what villa should I stay in, what resort, all of that kind of fun stuff. So we thought we would dive a little bit into that article this week and discuss that. But before we go any further, as always, if you like our content here at DVC Fan, please show some love for our sponsors, the World of DVC, DVC Resale Market, if you're looking at buying or selling a Disney Vacation Club contract, Monera Financial, if you're looking to finance that sale of that, or that purchase of that contract, and then DVC Rental Store if you're looking to try before you buy, or potentially rent out your own Disney Vacation Club points. Please show some love to one of those sponsors. But Lauren, before we actually dive into sort of everything related to the one-bedroom villas at Walt Disney World, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Disney Vacation Club story? When did you become a Disney Vacation Club member, and sort of what brought you to sort of this point?
Yeah, so really, we have been members since 2019, my husband and I, and it all stemmed from, going from annual trip every year to Disney World, then it became 2 trips every year, and we really wanted to find a way to make our vacations more affordable. I fell down the entire rabbit hole of DVC, found the Diz boards, DVC Fan, did a ton of research, and by March of 2019, we had bought into the Boardwalk as our first home resort. And soon after, like a lot of other members, we had add-on-itis. So Bay Lake Tower became home resort number 2, and it felt like a good fit. It was longer in terms of contract length than Boardwalk. We got a Magic Kingdom resort, and then we figured, Boardwalk kind of covered Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Seems like we're set. But lo and behold, during the pandemic, we also bought a contract at Grand Floridian. When prices were really pretty low in 2020, there was this gem of a contract that we couldn't pass up on. So that was our 3rd home resort. I think we're good for now, but it's been quite a journey, and I feel like it's just changed our trip so much.
Yeah.
We probably go even more than we ever had planned when we initially bought in, but no regrets whatsoever. It's been really great.
So Lauren started in March of 2019. DVC Fan started that April, right?
Yeah.
And Lauren, you've been with us since the beginning, I think.
Almost.
How did you get started with DVC Fan? I can't even remember.
I think I must have found you guys from the Diz boards.
Yeah. I think I just remember sort of DVC fans started. We started the Facebook group and everything, and Lauren just was in there, asking questions, commenting on people's
Yes.
posts, just always being very knowledgeable. So very quickly it became like, hey, you should become a moderator, and then it was like, hey, you should write. And if you've not read any of Lauren's articles, they are amazing. She
Mhm.
definitely knows. Everything, probably more than we do about Disney Vacation Club, for sure. But that's awesome. I love the story of pandemic add-on-itis purchases, because it's like, I wonder how many points were sold because all of us were just like, I can't go to Disney. What's the next best thing? Well, I should just buy more points for the next time I can.
Yeah, and those were some really good deals too. So unlike us, Lauren actually bought at the best time, and she got a really good deal on that Grand Floridian contract. I
I
remember that.
did. Yeah, and at that point there was no ROFR going on, so we
Yeah,
knew
Yes.
no.
it was almost guaranteed to pass, which is amazing.
Yeah, and right now Rofer's kind of quiet. We are filming this for someone that watches this 3 years from now. If anyone ever actually watches this 3 years from now, we're filming this in December of 2022. But Rofer's kind of been a little bit quiet recently, and that's been a good thing for a lot of people that are trying to buy a contract during the holiday season. I don't think the Rofer monster will be sleeping forever here, but I think that it's just a good coincidence that the holiday buying season sort of aligned with that. We always sort of try to start some of these shows with just some news or anything that's really happened in the past week or so. One big thing of note over the course of the past week, Disney Vacation Club did load all of the annual dues into the website. So those are showing. If you go into your member dashboard and go to the annual dues section, you will see the dues bills for 2023, and those are payable at this time. They will be due essentially as of January 15th, and then they will be deemed past due as of February 15th, and that's when you'll probably get a nasty gram from Disney Vacation Club or something like that. So don't put yourself in that position. Get them paid by January 15th. We were talking with Lauren here just a couple minutes ago before we started the show. Get those gift card purchases done. I know, like Target Red Card, you can still get 5% off on gift cards through those. Lauren, you said that most of the deals through like BJ's Wholesale and stuff like that, those have ended for the holiday
I
season at this
think
point.
they're done.
Yeah. So, there's still maximize those credit card.
Sam's Club, Costco. I mean, there's still options for discounts. They're not as good as they were, previously, but they're out there. And honestly, over a large amount of annual dues, you can save $100, a couple $100, depending on how much your annual dues are if you buy discounted gift cards.
Yeah, definitely the way to go if you're able to do that. Also going with that monthly payment option, if you can do that. We discussed that on a previous show as well. But just wanted to throw that out. That's really all the big news that we've had in the past week or so. The one thing that we are still waiting for, the condo association, we weren't able to go to the meeting this year, but it was really nothing really exciting came out of that. Just some general announcements. We did get a refurbishment schedule that came out of that. We sort of thought some of these resorts were already in the cards, but we know for sure now Boardwalk, Beach Club are on the docket for some refurbishments, and Bay Lake Tower is going to see some love. Lauren's home resort, so they'll finally see that refurbishment coming. I think they're on the docket for 2024.
I was surprised
Right.
to see Vero Beach on there. I feel like Vero Beach looks really good. We were just there in May.
Yeah, it doesn't take the beating, I think, that some of these other resorts do in terms of everything else. But I was kind of...
Yeah, I was on there for soft goods. I was surprised, especially over some of the other resorts that maybe need some love, like Animal Kingdom Lodge, Grand Californian. But at least we've got a schedule now, and
no news on the Poly Tower or anything like that came out of the meeting. It was pretty quiet on that front, but the last thing that is sort of on our radar, I guess, in terms of things we watch for this time of year are the announcement of Moonlight Magic dates for 2023. We did get the announcement at the Condo Association meeting, I think it was, that There will be a Moonlight Magic event that will be coming to the West Coast, to Disney's California Adventure out there on the West Coast for 2023. So that's super exciting, showing some love out there. Coincidentally with, the announcement of the new member lounge that's going to be out there in Anaheim. And of course, the new Disneyland Hotel DVC tower, which should go on sale sometime the early part of 2023. And then actually open probably in the third or fourth quarter of next year. So a lot of exciting stuff happening on the West Coast. Lauren, maybe it's your next add-on. You never know.
I haven't been out there about 20 years. I don't know.
Oh, wow. You've got to make it back out there for
You're
sure.
overdue.
You are overdue. And, we'll make sure to pass the message along to Timothy that that needs to be. That's going to be like your post-baby present. Speaking of which, if anyone didn't know, Lauren is like 8 months pregnant at this point, and
over that, yeah.
over that, yeah, we've got a baby coming in a couple weeks here, so that's super exciting. Congratulations to you and Timothy, and thank you again just for joining us for the show this week. You'll actually be here we're going to film 2 shows today, but first and foremost, we decided we were going to talk about the article that you had written back in August, top 5 one-bedroom villas at Walt Disney World. Just give us sort of a quick rundown of your thoughts in writing this article, sort of some of the things that came to mind as you were going through it, and then we'll dive down through these. In no particular order, sort of the top 5 resorts. And Hermes is here to join us as well. He was excited to hear about that. So
he wanted to hear about the 1-bedrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for this article, it was actually a follow-up to something I had written a little while back on the top 5 deluxe studios. It was similar in that it wasn't a top 5 ranking necessarily, but just 5 studios that I thought had great features. So this was a follow-up just to talk about the 1-bedrooms. I feel like pretty often in the group we'll have questions about, what do people recommend? Where should they stay? This kind of follows a similar format in terms of the last article I did on studios, just looking at unique features, the space, the amenities that you get with these various 1-bedroom villas. So I kicked off this list with the Old Key West 1-bedroom villa near Hospitality House. This one, of course, with Old Key West being the original DVC resort, is one of the largest that you could get. It's 942 square feet. It probably feels like you could live there as an apartment. I mean, it's huge. And I mean, instead of having a balcony, you have that full patio out there with the table and chairs. It just has a great layout that probably feels most like your home away from home. And I think you guys have stayed in a 1-bedroom there before, correct?
Yeah. So I think of all the hotels, the DVC resorts, Old Key West it feels like a house. And like you said, Laura, it feels like home. And we stayed in a 1-bedroom there twice. We actually just got back from Old Key West, and we stayed in our first studio there, and they're very nice too. But it was like we've been spoiled by being able to stay at the 1-bedroom twice, and you feel like you could just host like a big party, in that 1-bedroom. The patio, you're right, is really big and nice with a table and chairs. And one of my best memories is it was like Christmas time, and I've said this before on like a different show or something, but we went and got Earl's sandwich and we brought it back and we laid on the couch and ate sandwiches and we folded our laundry because for some reason now anytime we have a washer and dryer in our DVC villa, we feel like we have to do laundry.
You've got to do it. Like
it's a must do.
There's not, there's not an option. It's like you must use the washing machine.
Yeah, and I swore we never would, and then we stayed in our first 1-bedroom, and it was like, oh my gosh, we could go home with clean clothes. But we just watched Christmas movies, and we folded laundry, and we ate sandwiches in the living room there, and it felt like we were at home. And so that's what I love about Old Key West, and it's so quiet and relaxing too.
Yeah, it's every time I'm at Old Key West, it's sort of a sense of, they're never going to sort of build a resort ever like that ever again. and it's just so special in how large all of the villas are, how much space you get. I mean, we discovered for the first time there's a doorbell. Like there's an actual doorbell to
Oh,
your. Now it sounds like a fire alarm when
Yeah.
you actually push the button, because Amy decided to test it, and I was inside and had no idea what was going on.
It's so
But
loud.
It was so loud. But like for you to actually, like, I know some of the grand villas and stuff like that have doorbells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like just for
The-
your
the
deluxe studio
studio, yeah.
to have a doorbell. But yeah, we became very spoiled by the one bedrooms at Old Key West. And you know, they are recently refurbished. It is an older refurbishment, so keep in mind that things like USB ports and things like that were not a thing back when they did that refurbishment back in, I want to say it was 2019.
Yeah, it ended in 2019.
Ended in 2019. So I'm surprised that they didn't do some of those things, but it's still an absolutely gorgeous villa. And as Amy said, you know, we've done laundry, we've cooked, we've done everything you could do in a Old Key West one bedroom. So
Yeah,
it is near the top of my list.
And
for
something
sure.
else I want to point out about the one bedroom at Old Key West is that the points are so cheap. Like they're on, like, some studios cost this much. So you can get a one bedroom at Old Key West for as little as 20 points a night during the September 1st through 30th travel season. But yeah, that 20 points, I mean, you know, and then it goes up in the 20s, and, you know, most of the seasons are in the 20s. It hits in the 30s when you get towards, like, some of the more popular times. But that's so low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In terms of points. Like a one bedroom Riviera is almost twice that, depending on when you travel.
Yeah.
You know, up to 60 something points.
I was gonna say we should come back to that when we get to one of the others on the list here, which
Oh,
is
yes.
Riviera, and sort of compare and contrast those numbers for that same season, because you definitely, you know, you're probably, for 20 points, you're not staying in a studio at Riviera most likely. So just a tremendous savings there. So Old Key West, look, number 2 here on your list was Bay Lake Tower theme park view. Since you are an owner there, what put this in the top 5?
So this one, maybe not as spacious as Old Key West, but still a really good size one bedroom. The layout is great as well. I think a lot of people love that there's this second full bathroom, which is really convenient for families. And I specifically chose the theme park view because one of the perks of Bay Lake Tower is just that proximity to Magic Kingdom. And there's kind of no better way to end your night than to be on that balcony and enjoy the fireworks. I even tested this out with our last trip at Bay Lake Tower. We did pipe in the music from our TV. It's channel 105 if you're ever looking for it in the resort. And it works pretty well. I think the only challenge is sometimes if your TV is a little further from your balcony, you won't necessarily hear the soundtrack because the fireworks are so loud. But it's such a beautiful view. It's actually kind of worth that point splurge, I think.
Yeah. We have actually we've done a one bedroom, I think, once back in the day at
I was having hair issues anyway.
I was
so.
pushing buttons and nothing was happening, so it was a great moment there for the internet. But I think we've stayed at the Old Key West one bedroom once. I think it was a standard view, but we still sort of we lucked out and we sort of had that back angle of Space Mountain. And
Yeah,
all
we
of
were
that
on
kind
the
of things.
4th floor and we could see Space Mountain in the castle. It was actually a really nice view. And you know what's really cool and kind of interesting about the one bedrooms at Bay Lake Tower is that you have the rooms that are, so it's kind of like a horseshoe-ish. I don't know if you'd call it a horseshoe, but like the design of the building, you know what I mean? Like it's like this
Curved,
circle.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't, it's like a horseshoe. But anyway, you have rooms that are shaped like this because they face the, you know, the outside of, like, they face towards a park. And then the other rooms on the other side are the opposite, like the funnel is the opposite way. I don't know if that makes sense. So the bedrooms in Old Key West, the one bedrooms that face the park and out, like the outside of the horseshoe, have a larger living room area. And then the bedrooms that face the inside of the horseshoe, they're shaped a little bit differently. So the living room's smaller, but the laundry rooms are like really huge. Did you know that? So it's like depends on
you,
which side of that, like the inside or the outside of the, I'll call it a horseshoe.
yeah.
That you're in. So
You,
they're different.
you saying that just reminds me of when we stayed there, and the furniture in the living room just felt disproportionate to the size
It's
of the room.
huge. We
It
were
felt
on
like
the outside.
there
Yeah.
needed to be some like
Yeah.
extra chairs or something to sort of beef up that.
Yeah, but they're
that
not all
space in
like
there.
that. But so we had the laundry that was like the stacked inside the little tiny closet. But so if you're on the other side, you have a smaller living room and you have a huge laundry room. Because I saw people posting, I figured this out when I've seen pictures of people like, oh, I love one bedrooms at Bay Lake. They have this awesome laundry room. And I'm like, we didn't have that awesome laundry room. And then I realized that it depended on which, the inside or the outside of the horseshoe you were in. I know I was like jumbling my words trying to figure out how to explain it. But so it's different. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. So that was number 2 on the list. Number 3, Grand Floridian Standard View 1 bedroom. And these puppies just went through a nice little refurbishment. They've got the Murphy beds installed, new carpeting. Just Grand Floridian in general right now, between Big Pine Key and everything else, just is a beautiful villa. I think that they've done it a lot of justice and brought it back to that charm and sort of what you expect from Grand Floridian. Lauren, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I just felt like Grand Floridian, I may be biased as an owner there, but I just love the theming, the decor. You're right, that last refurb made it even better with the Murphy beds. And then I also like that for the 1 bedroom villas, the balcony extends from like the living room side through the bedroom. So it gives you a little bit more space. And then Grand Floridian is definitely one of those resorts that has that high point chart. So standard view is what I picked here. And honestly, there are some decent views for standard view villas at the Grand Floridian. Some of them have great views of the monorail going by. They're really not that bad at all. I mean, if you're really looking to save points, Lakeview versus standard, the standard ones are really nice.
Yeah. So we've not gotten to stay at the 1 bedroom at Grand Floridian yet. I think because we're so cheap on points and they are kind of expensive. But I do agree with you. We stayed in a lot of standard view villas there, and the views are amazing. I love the views of the monorail going by, and depending, even whether you're in front of the building and you're overlooking how do you say that? The porte cochere? I can never say that word.
Did pretty good.
And or on the other side, facing the back of the building, you can see the monorail from pretty much all the standard views.
Yep.
So you can't go wrong there.
Yep. Next up, we hinted at it earlier in the show, but a Riviera standard view 1 bedroom villa. We have not had the opportunity to actually stay in a standard view. We were actually, I believe, it depends.
Okay, I don't
depends on your definition of standard versus preferred here, which is the epic problem that Riviera has always had. But we actually were upgraded during a stay into a preferred 1 bedroom villa at
from
Riviera.
a tower studio.
From a tower studio.
This was during during the pandemic when they first
when
reopened.
everything reopened, and it was like, what room do you want? Just go, just knock on a door, and if no one answers, just go in.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened at all. But yeah, so it was a preferred 1 bedroom villa. Honestly, when it comes to decor and everything else, Riviera honestly is probably one of my favorite 1 bedrooms that we've stayed in. Outside of the fact that they call it preferred and it's facing, the children's splash pad area of the resort, I really just think that, it's just a gorgeous design, and we had a wonderful stay there.
Yeah, I mean, everything is new and shiny and really well managed, like really well taken care of. I think the housekeeping is some of the best at Riviera right now. We've been seeing some housekeeping complaints lately at other resorts, but at Riviera, we watched them actually vacuum the balcony, which is outside, which is something a lot of resorts could probably use, a good balcony scrub down. But everything's just so new and beautiful, and all the fixtures and stuff, and the artwork is fantastic. I mean, we bought that Remy artwork that hangs in the I think the Wally's in the Grand Villa, but the Remy is in the 1 bedroom.
Yep.
So we really like that. Lauren, what made you choose the 1 bedroom at Riviera?
I think it was really a lot of the same points you guys made. It's the decor, just the layout's great. It's very similar to the Grand Floridian, except for the kitchen area in terms of the actual layout itself. And there's just a lot of storage. Everything's just new. It's just, I think it's a great space. And then it's kind of like what you guys alluded to, that standard and preferred views are somewhat flipped in this resort, where you would almost want that standard view just to be able to see a little glimpse of fireworks at night, even though, yeah, you're looking at the parking lot during the daytime. But it sounds like some of the preferred views are actually a little bit loud too when you're facing the pool area.
Yeah, we I would definitely pick probably the standard view over the preferred view, especially when it comes to just the cost of what you are going to pay. We going back to what we said earlier, Old Key West, 20 points for a we were talking one bedroom, near hospital.
Yeah,
doesn't different.
Yeah, so the regular and the hospitality house categories are the same in terms of points. For Riviera, so a one bedroom, if we're talking about the standard one bedroom villas, those start at 29 points. They go as high as 68. And then the preferred start at 36 and go as high as 81 points. So, it's definitely a higher point chart. Obviously, I think we've decided that if we're going to book Riviera, we're going to book a tower studio, a standard deluxe studio.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would ever spend the points on preferred willingly, because I just don't think the view difference is worth it.
Yeah. Well, and for me, like if I'm looking for that kind of space, if I'm paying the number of points for one bedroom space at Walt Disney World, I'm going to Old Key West, because that is the largest that I'm going to get. There's not going to be any bigger one bedroom villa for the price I'm going to pay. So we are point misers at heart at the end of the day, and we always will be. But it's like why most people buy into DVC. Get the most bang for your buck at the end of the day. So last but certainly not least, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Savannah View at Kidani Village. Lauren, why did you pick that one for our list?
Yeah, so this one was tricky because I know there are a lot of different booking categories at Animal Kingdom Lodge between both Jumbo House and Kidani Village. I chose the one at Kidani Village because it's slightly larger. So this is, I think we're looking at 807 square feet compared to 629 to 710, depending on what category you get at Jumbo House. And also, this is another one like Bay Lake Tower where you get that second full bathroom. And then, like a lot of the villas over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you want to see the animals. So had to pick Savannah View for this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a freaking Savannah. I mean, at the end of the day. I think that the real money maker with those one bedrooms are the double bathrooms.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of families, really, both at Kidani and at Bay Lake Tower, choose that one. Is because you can have that privacy of not just a half bath, but like a full second bathroom. Like that's a great benefit for those people staying there.
Yeah. So we've not stayed in a one bedroom at Kidani.
Nope.
We've done Jumbo House, because we had a 2-bedroom lock off, so we had a 1-bedroom. But we've toured those rooms before. I do like Kidani. The rooms tend to be bigger there in most scenarios compared to Jumbo House. But how long? It's been so long since we've been to Kidani Village. I think it's the DVC resort that we have not stayed at in the longest amount of time, and it's technically
one of our home resorts.
It's technically where we own most of our points.
Yeah.
I think we stayed there once in 2018 in September. And I don't think we've been back since. We need to try book a trip there.
Yeah, we need to go back. I think time after time again, it's just one of those situations where it's like something else comes up at the 7-month window, and you're like, "Ooh, that's exciting," and so you jump on that, which is always something that we do. But
in terms of points too, I mean, Animal Kingdom villas in general are pretty good on points. Just like Old Key West, you can get a standard view for as low as 20 points a night. Standard view 1-bedroom. Savannah View as low as 27. And then the highest that they get is 45 for standard, 52 for Savannah. We're talking, when I was giving you those high travel periods for Riviera, these are this is Easter and Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So those are the most expensive time periods to stay.
All right, there are our top 5 one-bedrooms. Lauren threw on here an honorable mention as well, which was a Saratoga Springs preferred view, which I'm glad that you threw this on there because I absolutely love Saratoga Springs. We have been able to stay in a one-bedroom there, I believe, at least once. Or
I don't think so. I think
did we visit someone that stayed there?
We have been in them. Okay. We've stayed in multiple studios. You stayed in a studio by yourself when you went down for work.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we stayed in a grand villa.
Yeah.
For a night too. That yeah, but I don't think we've actually slept in. Oh no, we did. I'm sorry. It was when we came back from Alani.
I was right.
I had to think about it. It's been a while. Yeah, we did. We stayed in a 1-bedroom when we came back from Alani.
It was like one night, like our first
night. It was
night
one night.
Like that.
Yeah, and you know what?
Because we wanted the washer and dryer so that we could do laundry.
Our laundry from Hawaii.
When we got back from Hawaii.
Yeah, and then we had to move to studios after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like it was like we felt like we were again, like it felt like you were in a house. You know what I mean? Like you were at home.
Yeah. I would argue that since the refurbishment at Saratoga Springs, those villas over there are about as luxurious as like a Riviera or something like that. I think that what they did with the refurbishment there is better than what we've seen with a lot of these resorts over the past few years. They just really gutted from head to toe, and they've got everything that you would expect from those villas. And again, they are on a little bit on the larger side. They're in that same category as I would put Old Key West in terms of those size categories. You're getting a decent amount of space. You're right there by Disney Springs.
Yeah. The thing I love about Preferred View is if you stay in Congress Park, I mean, the views are gorgeous. You literally are overlooking the lake. I think that's Lake Buena Vista, right?
You know the lakes better.
And yeah, I studied the waterways one day, trying to remember all the names, like Villa de Largo at the at Colorado or whatever. Anyway, that you're overlooking that water, all those Disney Springs buildings. You can see the balloon going up and down. I mean, it's just the views are really, really great. And even if you're not in overlooking Congress Park, or you're not in a preferred view or preferred, it's not preferred view, it's preferred location at Saratoga. If you're not in one of those, the other views are still beautiful. And it's the same at Old Key West. You're overlooking waterways and golf courses and forest, and you know what I mean? It's just very picturesque, calm views out the window for low points.
Lauren, what made you add Saratoga as the honorable mention on our list here?
I think it was really that recent refurbishment. I mean, I think before that, it kind of did live up to the reputation of resort of last resort, but the refurbs look beautiful. I specified preferred category in this case just because with such a sprawling resort, I think location really does matter here at Saratoga Springs. As you mentioned, if you're Congress Park, you're so close to Disney Springs and everything that they have to offer. And then if you're by the springs, then you're near all the amenities that are in the central area of the resort. So I think it could actually be a great choice.
So the real question at the end of the day is, with a little one on the way, do you have enough points to start staying in all these 1-bedrooms? Because I mean, that's going to be the trend now that a kid is involved.
It's dangerous. I actually started booking our first, intentionally getting a 1-bedroom because we're usually studio people when it's just my husband and me. But yeah, we'll see how this goes because I know what everyone says, that once you go to about 1-bedroom, you're not going back to that studio. So we'll see.
Yeah, they do spoil you after a while and everything. But yeah, thank you so much for putting together this article. Thank you for joining us this week for sort of running down those. You'll see Lauren on another episode coming up where we talk about 2022 year in review of DVC. But I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of the DVC show. If you liked this video, please give us that thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and join in the conversation over on dvcfan.com or in the DVC Fan Facebook group. And happy holidays. Hope you have a wonderful one with your family, and we will see you next time.